Prosper. I'm Karlyn Ellis. I am broker and one of the two owners. I'm going to share a little bit about what we're seeing in the market from the agent's perspective today. And I asked Chad, my business partner, to join us and give us kind of the agent perspective. Chad, tell us a little bit about you.
Well, I'm Chad, and I am Carlin's business partner, and I am also running the UCAN team and out there just making deals happen, loving it, and going from there.
Awesome. So, speaking of deals, what are you seeing in the market? We are in last day of July.
Mhm.
Normally, this is a busy selling season. What are you seeing on the buyer seller side?
I'm seeing a lot of holding back. A lot of people, I think are definitely scared of the rates. We're seeing a lot of different things with builders trying to do different things just to kind of get the buyers moving and stuff like that. And I see sellers just not willing to give up that equity they feel like they still have that we had a year and a half ago to 2 years ago. They can't release that yet. So we're not meeting in the middle, I think, like what we should be meeting right now.
Yeah. Yeah, I think sellers are having, if you have to sell right now, it's not getting the price that they could have got a year ago. It's just not that market for sure. On the agent side, I'm really stressing to agents to educate, kind of the same thing, educate the sellers on where we are in a market reality right now. If they have to sell, it's going to be painful if you're comparing it to market values of last summer. But the good news is there's still equity. If you compare it to pre-COVID, right? Like
Right.
the prices are still really great prices compared to where we were 2018 and 2019. And so, from an agent perspective, I think you've got to make your listing really stand out, which means staging pre-inspection, make it move in ready as much as possible, and then price it really competitively. Make sure you're looking at what competition the buyers going to have to choose from, because you're right, the builders are offering crazy incentives right now to combat the interest rates and get buyers into their homes. And so how do we do that on the resale market? It means maybe offering some concessions for a rate buy down, doing a 2-1 buy down, those kind of things. But as an agent, you've got to really know your arsenal of tools and come out swinging with all of them to get that listing sold. It's taking work for sure. There's no doubt. Um, what would you say is one piece of advice to someone who's thinking of, possibly selling? We're about to go, we're not quite to the end of the fourth quarter or third quarter. Going into the fourth quarter, we usually call it our second summer. What kind of advice would you give to sellers who are on the fence thinking, do I go in the market now or do I wait till next spring?
Um, I've always said do it now, especially if you're thinking about something, because we don't know what next spring's going to bring us. There could be a lot of things that happen. I would say no, we know the market now, so let's do what we do. Well, because we know what to do now, we just don't know what's going to happen in the future. Another piece of advice I would say: make sure you listen to your agent. I know you have a mind, like a dollar amount that you want to hit, uh, but get you like an experienced agent that knows what they're talking about, what they're doing, because um, they're looking at the comps, they're looking at what the appraisers are seeing, they're looking at they're doing the stuff, their job, what they're supposed to be doing, and they know what your price is. That you may have a set price that you want to go on at, but you have an agent coming in there. Okay, well, I'll give that price to you. You're going to sit on the market longer, and you're going to get more frustrated, and then you have to give up more in the long run, I think, than you would if you come on at the right price. And so I think that's my biggest thing I would say.
Yeah, absolutely. Pricing is key right now in this market, sitting on the market and waiting to see if someone's going to come along. We just don't have the number of buyers in the market to do that at this point. There's um, the buyers that are buying in our market right now are serious buyers who have to make a move, but because they have so many homes to choose from, getting yours picked is going to be really difficult if you're not priced well, 1,000%. On the agent side, I think we normally are usually doing a lot of closings in July, a lot of closings in August, and then September tends to slow down. And so the question is, what's going to happen? Are we going to see more of a slowdown? Because we're kind of in a slowdown right now compared to our normal numbers. I think from an agent's perspective, it's about finding the opportunity in this market and making sure buyers understand. I keep hearing that buyers are on the fence waiting to jump in once the rates drop. And from an agent perspective, I just stress that you educate your buyers in your database and your SOI that they don't want to wait till rates drop, because when rates drop, buyers are going to flood the market, and then we're going to be in these multiple offers, crazy situation again. And a lot of buyers unfortunately can't play in that ball game. First time home buyers can't participate, and so as an agent, we have to educate the public and let them know that now's the time to buy. Let's get money off the price. If the listing's been sitting on the market a while and the seller's motivated, we probably can negotiate and get some money off the price and get some money paid towards their closing costs or towards a 2-1 buy down. And then they can always look at refinancing to a lower interest rate later if that opportunity presents itself. But you're really going to do a disservice sitting on the fence, I think, 1,000%. So let's switch gears and talk about creative options for buyers out there right now. Not really switching gears, but we've been talking about sellers. Let's talk about the buyers and the opportunities. What kind of opportunities are you seeing for buyers right now?
Like we kind of talked about the buy downs and things like that. I do know that lenders they're doing everything they can to try to beat around these rates and things like that. I do know there's options out there. You have the arms and things like that out, which is a lending way, I guess. But and the new builds that they're really killing it on these buy downs, and so I think that's what I'm seeing a lot for buyers. Like you say, the negotiating is very much on the buyer's side because the sellers are so they go on the market, it just doesn't fly off the market like it was, and they're so like, oh my gosh, I've been on the market 30 days, so I've got to sell, I got to give everything away. And so buyers are getting that advantage right now. And I'm telling my buyers, like, I understand you're at this price point, let's go ahead and look higher because there's a lot of that room for negotiating. And I'm willing to put everything I can on that offer and let them come back at me and try to say, oh, well, we're not going to do this and this and this. But for the most part, we're getting what we want on the buying side. So,
That's really good. That's important to know. Yeah, I think when a listing maybe just came on the market yesterday, those sellers aren't going to be as negotiable. But
right.
when it's been sitting there for a little while, absolutely. I'm always encouraging my agents, to ask money off the price, but also look at, getting some concessions for a buy down, perhaps, or to pay for the buyer's closing costs, or perhaps both, depending on the type of loan product they're getting. And then, make sure you're looking at the condition of the home, and if things are needed to be done, make sure we're getting that done as well. We're hoping that sellers to position themselves to sell are getting the homes pre-inspected and in move-in condition. They're fine-tuning the AC systems. The roof's already been replaced, unless it's newer construction, obviously that doesn't apply. But on resales, I feel like there's just a lot of opportunities for buyers to position themselves well to get the home that they do want. They're not having to settle. A year ago we were seeing buyers having to settle for anything they could get their hands on.
Yeah.
And so, like, making a move now in this market can keep them from having to do that. Waiting until rates drop, they're going to be settling again.
Right. That's one thing that we're telling them too. Like, look, let's stop. And I know y'all have all heard it millions of times. Don't marry the rate, but it's marry the house, not the rate, is what they say. But I would definitely be out there buying right now because everybody is waiting on that. And once the rates start dropping, then you're gonna be basically in competition with all the other buyers. And I think that's what I can't get out enough to folks. And again, on like you mentioned about the sellers, getting the house ready and re-inspected and stuff like that. I know that we're talking to a lot of our listings like, look, you want the house ready. You are not only are you competing with these other folks out there, you want to be you want that backyard to look good. You are, if you have some extra money, let's go ahead and put some things over here. Even though you don't get your money back, it's going to help your property sell.
Yeah.
And so I'm trying to get a lot of those folks trained on that too. So kind of jumped around a little bit there for you. Sorry.
No, it's good. Yeah, well, there's no set agenda on this. We're just hanging out. How's the family?
Goodness gracious, crazy. He is Jonas is starting to try to crawl, and he maybe he's saying mama, I don't know, but
I heard a video and it sounded like mama to me.
He's a trip every single day. It's something different. and he yeah, it's constantly one thing after another. How about yours? How is your family?
Crawling is one thing, but then I always hear young parents like, I can't wait till they can walk. It's like, oh, game
Yeah,
on.
I know. I don't know if I'm ready for that because of having to keep. I'm already worn out, so I can only imagine having to keep up with
Yeah,
with him.
crawling, you can keep them in this like contained area, but once they start walking, it's yeah,
Right.
yeah. You guys will be
No,
chasing
right?
them down.
Maybe I'll lose some weight.
Mine are good. Hayden is up at UTD finishing. He'll be starting his senior year next week, so that's
Wow,
exciting.
already.
I know. And
Dang.
then he's going to fast track his master's, so he'll stay one more year and finish his master's. Girlfriend, very serious, which takes years off my life, but we love her. She's awesome. So it's a good pick. It's just crazy that they're so serious, and I feel like they're so young. But I was engaged at 21, so I
Right.
can't talk. I get it. I've been engaged. I was engaged twice before I married my husband. So, I just have to like bite my tongue and keep my mouth shut.
There you go.
But at least we love her, so that's great.
Right.
And then McKenna is cheer, cheer, cheer. Like cheer is our life. We just spent all weekend at Shirts, and we're gonna be there all next weekend. And go Vipers! So
Yeah.
yeah, right. Well, I think that's kind of it for today. I appreciate you visiting with me.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. We'll do
Anything
some
else?
more.
Any other words of wisdom you want to throw out there to the world?
I can't stress enough to make sure you have a good agent and make sure they're working full time and make sure they're working for you and not pushing you. They're
Yeah,
there for you.
1,000%. Yeah, we're professionals. We're held to a code of ethics, and your real estate professional should be doing what's in your best interests always. And hopefully, they're knowledgeable on the market and the conditions, and they're paying attention to it because it's changing regularly. It's not about looking at numbers right before you go on the market and then forgetting about it. We've got to be studying the market every week and seeing what's going on, understanding our competition, and how we're positioned to get your home sold, or what opportunities are there for the buyers, and how they can take advantage of this market. So we hope this is helpful, and we'll see you on the flip side.
Right.